Israel had generals, captains, lieutenants, and, you know, and the way it was set up in the courtyards and the tents and everything, and the Levites were carrying out their business, the people that carried the Ark of the Covenant, they was really powerful men who were securing that.
It's a message from my heavenly
Very
Father,
powerful
letting
men,
us know
because
who
they
we
couldn't
are.
let no one near to
Born
the first
in
one
this
you
image,
die.
gave the crown of dominion and authority, and
They
the
wanted
raised down to
change.
the serpent.
Jesus didn't have food in
When
his
he
house,
ate
the
the tree,
Jews
the
didn't
true
have
meaning of
Allah.
The ground was close and sacred, trying to eat us all over the ground.
So Yahweh can
Thorns and
help me.
thistles I can fast forward some monetary recognized
We are in the beginning of a new lesson entitled, If Any Man Will Do His Will, He Shall Know of the Doctrine. Let's go to the New Testament, to Yachanan or John, the 7th chapter. If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine. John, the 7th chapter. So we can only do Yahweh's will by knowing and learning his doctrine. The doctrine is talking about his doctrine. John, Yachanan, the 7th chapter. We can only do Yahweh's will by learning his doctrine. John 7, and we want to start at verse 16. John 7, and let's read verse 16, please.
Yahshua answered them and said, My doctrine is not mine, but he that sent me.
Now, here he's saying, my doctrine, Yahshua, Amar, them, and Amar, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. So we're going to find out in this lesson, Yahshua's been sent, and so have we. But in order to do Yahweh's will, we want to do Yahweh's will, but we got to find out what the doctrine is so we can know what his will is. Verse 17.
If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of Elohim or whether I speak of myself.
All right, so it says, if any Adam will do his will, which we want to, he shall yada of the doctrine. That's Yahweh's doctrine. What Yahweh said. Whether it be of Elohim or Yahweh, or whether I amar of myself. All right? I want to speak about Yahweh. So I need to know what Yahweh said so I can repeat what he said. Verse 18.
He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory, but he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him.
It says, he that amar of himself seeketh his own kabod, but he that seeketh his kabod that sent him. So we're seeking to give glory to Yahweh.
That's right.
It says the same in Emmett, and no unrighteousness is in him.
That's right.
In that person.
It should
So
be.
if I want to do his will, then I got to learn his doctrine.
That's right.
Let's go to 2 Corinthians, the 10th chapter. So Yahweh's will is to protect, defend, and vindicate his right to have justice in the earth.
That's it. That's
And
the
we're
only.
ready to do his will when we obey what he has commanded.
That's the only
2
way.
Corinthians, the 10th chapter. So we have to get ready to do his will.
That's right.
And we're ready to do it
Yes, we are. Ready and willing.
when we are in obedience.
Hallelujah.
2 Corinthians, the 10th chapter. We're going to read one verse. Verse 6. 2 Corinthians, the 10th chapter. So Yahweh's will is to protect, defend, and vindicate his right to have justice in the earth.
Hallelujah.
2 Corinthians
Amen
10
and amen.
and verse 6.
And having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled.
Yes.
It said,
Yes.
having in a readiness to
Yes.
revenge all disobedience.
Oh.
So we're going to find out we were sent to the earth to revenge disobedience.
Yes.
To address and correct
That's it.
people that are out of line
Be ready.
with Yahweh's will. And having
Hallelujah.
in a readiness, but
Yes.
we have to get that in ourselves.
That right?
To revenge all disobedience.
Okay.
How do we get it? When our obedience
That's
is
the only way.
fulfilled.
Hallelujah.
When we're in complete obedience to what we know from Yahweh's word.
Right.
This English word fulfilled is the Greek word pleroo. That's P-L-E-R-O-O. It's found at Strong's number 4137. And it means to level up a hollow, to furnish, to influence, to satisfy, to execute an office, to finish a period or task, to accomplish, to be complete, to end, to fulfill, to be full, to make full, to come fully preached, to perfect, to supply. Let's go to Luke, the 11th chapter. So when Yahweh sends us and we go, then we find out what His perfect will is in the areas that He sends us to.
That's right.
Which is our mission. Luke, the 11th chapter.
Hallelujah.
But you only see it when you are in obedience.
That's the only way.
That's the only way you're ready to do Yahweh's will.
Praise the mighty God.
When your obedience
To His
is
devour.
fulfilled. Luke 11, and that means you do what you know. You're not doing what you know, you're not ready to do Yahweh's perfect will. And you won't be doing it.
That's right.
Luke 11.
Practice.
And let's start at verse 1, please.
Hallelujah.
Luke 11, verse 1.
And it came to pass that as he was praying in a certain place, when he ceased, one of his disciples said unto him, Master, teach us to pray, as Yahshua also taught his disciples.
Verse 2.
And he said unto them, When ye pray, say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so in earth.
All right, so here's the disciples asking Yahshua to teach them how to pray.
Right.
And Yahshua said, verse 2, and he amarred unto them, When ye palal, Amar, our Abba which is in Shemayim, hallowed be thy Shem. Thy Malkuth come, thy will be done, as in Shemayim, so in earth. So Yahweh's perfect will is for the earth to be exactly like it is in heaven, things being done there.
Right.
Let's go to Psalms, the 35th chapter. And if you know anything about heaven, if you read your Bible, you know it's not being done like it is in Shemayim. But Yahweh wants it to be that way. Psalms 35. Yahweh's perfect will and our missions magnify problems that are happening on earth, which need to be addressed and corrected to match up to what's happening in heaven. Our main mission is to favor Yahweh's righteous cause, which is just that the things in the earth be just like what's happening in heaven.
Right.
That's His righteous cause.
Amen.
Verse 27, please.
Let them shout for joy and be glad that favor my righteous cause. Yea, let them say continually, let Yahweh be magnified, which hath pleasure in the prosperity of the servant.
All right, so Yahweh's talking about us prospering and doing His perfect will, so that whatever area He sends us to address in the earth, it gets corrected and it becomes like it's supposed to be, like as in Shemayim. He says, let them shout for Simcha and be glad that favor my Sadiq cause. Yea, let them amar continually. Let Yahweh be magnified, which has pleasure in the prosperity of His Ebed. That is, in seeking to find out what He wants done in earth, corrected, and going ahead and doing it.
That's it.
All right, let's go back to Yachanan or John, the 8th chapter. So we keep finding out what His perfect will is by going after it and doing what we know. Again, that lines up with that scripture. You're ready when you have to revenge all disobedience in the earth, when your obedience is fulfilled. Without that, you're not going anywhere. You have to be in obedience to Yahweh. Then you're ready to revenge disobedience.
Hallelujah.
So we keep finding out His will by doing what we know to do. And going after finding out His will. John, the 8th chapter. And let's read verse 31, please.
Praise Yahweh.
Then said Yahshua to those Jews which believed on Him, If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed.
Hallelujah.
So he said, continue. Then said Yahshua to those Yadim which believe on him, if ye continue in my debar. It's not stopping and starting, it's continuing.
Okay.
Then are ye my disciples indeed. Then are you my people indeed. Then are you going to find out what Yahweh's will is for your life.
Yes.
Indeed. All right, verse 32.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Yes, it has.
There's a lot of people that misquote this verse.
Okay.
They say, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
Right,
They get
right,
it mixed up with another verse. It says, and you shall yada ha-emet, and ha-emet shall make you free.
Yes, it
Why?
has.
Because when
Yes,
you
it
start doing what Yahweh tells you to do and what you know to do, you're becoming freer and freer.
Yes. Each
Let's
and
go to
every
1
day.
Peter, the 3rd chapter.
Praise the mighty
So this
God.
English word continue is the Greek word meno. That's M-E-N-O. Found at Strong's number 3306. It is a primary verb meaning to stay in a given place, to abide, to continue, to dwell, to endure, to be present, to remain, to stand, to make your own. He's saying, if you continue, you make it your own. You staying in there.
Yes.
All right, you're not letting it go. You're staying in there.
No matter what.
All right, 1 Peter, the 3rd chapter. And we're going to see that doing Yahweh's will is ministering to his people.
All right.
It involves his people. It's all about his people.
That's it.
And ministering to his people is understanding his perfect will and submitting to the process to get there.
Okay.
So where we understand
It's
his
a process.
perfect will, it is a process
Wonderful.
to getting to understand Yahweh's perfect
Yes. Lovely.
will. 1 Peter 3,
Hallelujah.
and let's read verse 17,
Praise
please.
Yahweh.
For it is better, if the will of Elohim be so, that ye suffer for well-doing than for evil doing.
That's right.
In this generation,
That's
again,
right.
now we're on a mission to address and correct things that are out of whack
All right.
with what's going on in heaven, and they're out of
Okay.
whack in the earth.
Right.
That's what we're sent here for,
Uh-huh.
to bring them around, to make them be right, and people are deceived and they're doing things that they think are right, but
Yep,
they're
yep.
not right.
All right.
So it's better
Praise Yahweh.
if the will of Elohim be so. If Yahweh sends us to do something
Uh-huh.
that is unpopular,
Yeah.
because Yahweh says
Yeah.
some people like unrighteousness rather than righteousness.
Yeah, look
He
around.
said it's better if that's what Yahweh sends you to do, that you suffer for well-doing,
Uh-huh.
than you're doing wrong or evil and you suffer. Well, that's
Right.
just a consequence. You know,
Yeah.
you're out there suffering, all right? So let's go to Ecclesiastes, the 5th chapter. So he said it's better when Yahweh tells you to do something if you're suffering for it, but it's the right thing for you to do.
Hallelujah.
Keeping
Pumping
the
you up.
schedule, working with a computer, and making plans are all part of doing Yahweh's perfect will. There's a whole lot to ministry, and we must perform where we are.
Yep.
We must get good at where we are.
Hallelujah.
Wherever Yahweh starts us.
That's right.
If you go to a place and you start at an entry-level position, you must perform where you are
All right.
in order to get
To grow.
promoted in that company or another company.
That's right.
All right? You can't get in and half do it and expect to be promoted. Doesn't
It's
work
a
like that.
process.
All right, we're in Ecclesiastes, the 5th chapter.
Praise
Ecclesiastes,
Yahweh.
the 5th chapter. We want to read one verse. Verse 3. Ecclesiastes 5
Hallelujah.
and verse 3.
For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words.
Yeah, we're saying there's a whole lot to ministry, and we must perform where we are. Some people might think taking out the garbage at the temple is not part of ministry, but yes it is.
Yes, it is.
We
Oh,
must
giddy
get
up.
good at where we are. It says, for a dream coming through a multitude of business, doing a lot of things.
Okay.
And a fool's voice is known by a multitude of words. A lot of people standing around talking, not doing anything. Well, Yahweh's going to show us that he's not about people standing around talking, not doing anything. Let's go to Song of Solomon, the 7th chapter. So what makes us study for hours, writing down scriptures, and writing down what Ruach HaKodesh tells us? We may not have seen ourselves as teachers, but if we are, Yahweh will cause us to see ourselves differently. Song of Solomon. That's what happens along the way as you go on your mission. Yahweh starts showing you that He has put some different things in you that maybe you didn't know were in you, and He brings them out.
Yes, He does. Yes, He will. Yes, He has.
By you starting to do something.
Start
Solomon 7, and we want to read verse 12, please.
Praise the mighty God.
Solomon 7, verse 12 reads,
Let us get up early to the vineyards. Let us see if the vine flourish, whether the tender grapes appear, and the pomegranates bud forth. There will I give thee my loves.
All right, so here's this man saying, let us get up early to the vineyard.
Okay.
Let us be early seeking what Yahweh wants us to do. Let us be, like I was so gratified because there were people on the holy day, even though we said the temple doors would open at 6:30, they were here at 6 o'clock.
Hallelujah.
Wanting to come to, and then we had some, coming at 6:15. And so when we opened the doors at 6:30, it was just people already here, and they were coming, 45 minutes early, an hour early. So it was very, very gratifying. This is what he's talking about. Let us get up early to the vineyards. Let us see if the vine flourish. Like Yahweh tells you to do, and He'll see that it flourishes. He'll see that it grows and
Yes,
it
He will.
produces.
Yes, He has.
Whether the tender grape appear. So Yahweh says, one person plants, another waters, and He gives the increase. So He's saying, come to the harvest, to the vineyard early, so you can see what Yahweh is going to cause to produce. And the pomegranates bud forth. He says, there will I give thee my loves. He's just waiting for us to give us what it is that He has provided for us and put within us. Verse 13.
The mandrakes give a smell, and our gates are all manner of pleasant fruits, new and old, which I have laid up for thee, O my beloved.
So He said the mandrakes give a smell when you're in the vineyard. Yahweh has all this beautiful stuff provided for us in the vineyard. All we have to do is get up to the vineyard. And what is it? The early bird catches the worm. We're not looking to catch a worm, but you get to the vineyard first, so you get the best of what Yahweh has. The mandrakes give a smell, and at our gates are all manner of pleasant fruits. Just like He says in Revelation, He's got a tree that bears 12 manner of fruits that will be in the kingdom. Now He's just given us an allegory, an example of what He has provided for us in this life when we're on the mission that He sent us on. There's all manner of pleasant fruits, new and old, He said, which I've laid up for you and me.
Okay.
Oh, my beloved. That's talking about us. All right, let's go to 1 Peter, the 4th chapter. So the title of the lesson is, if any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine.
Yep.
That's why we're studying the doctrine, because we want to do Yahweh's will.
Yep.
1 Peter, the 4th chapter. So Yahweh's perfect will is what we never get tired of doing. Why do we hate to turn off the light at night? Because we want to learn more about Yahweh. When we are in the center of His will, we hate for it to stop. We can think it's nuts, except that we like it. We like to come to the temple. We like to hear about the Word. We perk up when somebody's talking about the Word.
Right. Never get tired.
It's nothing but Yahweh at work in us. 1 Peter, the 4th chapter. He's doing what He does.
Hallelujah.
And again, when we're in obedience, He said, then you're ready to revenge all disobedience.
Yes.
Then you're ready to stand up
At all
on
God's
your
cost.
mission and do what Yahweh put you here for.
At God's cost.
1 Peter, the 4th chapter, let's read verse 19, please.
Hallelujah.
Wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of Elohim commit the keeping of their souls to Him in well-doing, as unto a faithful Creator.
All right,
Okay.
so this is what we're doing. It says, wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of Elohim, when Yahweh sends us out on our mission, again, because He's sending us to address and correct some things in the earth that are not according to what His will is in Shemayim.
Right.
So that's why we're here on the mission,
Praise
to
the mighty
correct
God.
those things and to let people know, again, they may be in deception, whatever it is, Yahweh has sent us here to focus on those things,
Praise the mighty
whatever
God.
specific thing it is.
All right.
It says, wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of Elohim.
Okay.
People may not be happy about what you've been sent to do, but all we need to know is that Yahweh sent us on this mission to do it. He said, commit Hashemah, or the keeping of their nephesh in him, in well doing. Don't stop doing well. As unto a immunah bara, or a faithful creator.
Okay. And he's
Right.
in now.
Let's go to Philippians, the 1st chapter. So Yahweh's will is what we would do if we were going to do it for free.
Okay.
His will is the key to everything else we are wanting. Joy, peace,
Oh,
sense
yes.
of significance.
Yes.
That's where you get it. Philippians, the 1st chapter. His will is what we would do even if we weren't going to get paid for it.
Right.
And that's why natural-minded people can't understand
Oh, we get
what
paid.
it is that pushes us. Philippians 1, read one verse 6, please.
Hallelujah.
Being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Yahshua Mashiach.
Okay.
All right, so we can be confident
Yes, we are.
of this very thing, this specific thing, that he would have begun a told work in you, will perform it. Why? Because it's Yahweh that works within us to do what he's called us to do. Yahweh tells us what he's called us to do. It says, you can be confident. You can relax. You can be assured that he would have begun this told work in you, will perform it unto Yowm of Yahshua Mashiach.
That's right.
Until Yahshua's second coming.
That's
You can be
right.
confident.
Yes,
You're
we
going
are.
to do what Yahweh called you to
Yeah.
do. All you have to do is just stay in obedience and keep listening to Yahweh.
That's it.
He'll tell you every step of the way.
Hallelujah.
All right, let's go to 1 Kings, the 13th chapter. So Yahweh's will is an unending resource for our confidence.
It is.
We will not have true confidence if we are not in the center of what Yahweh called us to do. And we keep doing it.
To the end.
Now I have an article here. We're going to 1 Kings, the 13th chapter. And the article says, don't move. It says, whatever position in life Elohim has for us is important.
Yes.
He needs us working in it.
Yes, he does.
And he says, have you ever heard the anonymous saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything?
Yeah.
William Lipscomb Jr. is credited with saying, if your position is everywhere, your momentum is zero. In other words, if you're here, there, and everywhere, you will never accomplish anything. Sometimes people get knocked out of their position because of circumstances. Unfortunately, some never fully recover to where they could have been if they had stayed where they were supposed to be.
Okay.
Others refuse to let anything knock them out of their position.
That's right.
They make continual progress, even when they encounter tremendous opposition.
Hallelujah.
One of the secrets to success is learning how to stay put when circumstances come against us.
Praise the mighty God.
We can learn a lesson on how to stand by looking at the life of Moshe.
Okay.
So hold your finger in 1 Kings. Let's go to Exodus 14. It says he was a great leader, but he had to learn to stay in position.
Okay.
Exodus 14. We'll go there first. Exodus 14, and we want to read verse 13.
Hallelujah.
Exodus 14. And we want to read verses 13 and 14. Exodus 14
Praise
and
the
let's
mighty
read
Yah.
verse 13, please.
And Moshe said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will show to you today. For the Mizraims whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them no more. You shall see them again no more forever.
Verse 14.
Yahweh shall fight for you, and he shall hold your peace.
Yes.
Yes, he will, as long
Yes.
as we don't move.
Yes.
As long as we hold it right there. It says, after the Israelites fled Egypt, they found themselves in a hard place. The Egyptian army was behind them, The Red Sea was in front of them and mountains surrounded them. They faced obstacles on every side. It looks as though they had no way of escape. Moshe told them to stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh. We can only imagine the outcome if they had tried to run or if they had tried to climb the mountains or swim across the sea. It may not have made sense, but standing still put the Israelites in position to move when Elohim told them to go.
That's right.
Don't move. That's the name. Don't move. In the center of Elohim's will. In our lives, we want to be in Elohim's perfect will. Getting out of position can cost us.
Yeah.
We see in the Bible where Elohim called people to certain places. If they hadn't stayed where they were supposed to, they would not have been blessed. He called Abraham to a certain land, and that's where he was blessed. Moshe was called to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. If Moshe had stayed in Midian, we would not have heard of him, right?
Right.
Yahshua told his disciples to stay in the upper room until Ruach HaKodesh came. The command to stay in Jerusalem, however, went out to more people than just the disciples. On the day of Pentecost, only those who were in the upper room received Ruach HaKodesh. They were in the right place to receive. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 15 chapter. So Elohim wants all of us to be successful and live victoriously. 1 Corinthians 15. In Him, that's how we do it. Being in the right place and maintaining that position is vital for our success in the kingdom of Elohim. 1 Corinthians 15. And let's read one verse, verse 58. 1 Corinthians 15. And verse 58, please.
Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of Yahweh. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain.
Yeah, the title of the article is, that's right, don't move. So whatever position in life Elohim has for us is important. He needs us working in it. We need to learn to stand in it, to take some initiative and be engaged in that position. In the same way a minister prays for the anointing to get up and speak, pray for the anointing to do your job at the temple.
Praise God.
All right, out front versus behind the scenes. Some people have visible positions that appear to be more important than others. On a football team, there are quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers. The people in these positions seem to get all the glory. But it's the people who are in positions that aren't visible that make the visible position successful.
Right.
The quarterback can't complete a pass if the offensive line doesn't block for him.
Right.
Likewise, the running back won't gain any yardage if someone doesn't keep him from being tackled. It's the same way in the kingdom of Elohim. Every position on Elohim's team is important.
Yes, it is.
In temple, the pastor has the most visible position, but he can't do it all. It's the people behind the scenes that make the temple function as it should.
That's right.
All temples are more than the pastor. The pastor leads the temple, but the temple's success is a team effort.
Yes, it is.
When everyone on the team stands in their position and does what they're called to do, everything works well.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Lastly, never quit. When we're in our position and adversity comes, let's go to Ephesians 6 chapter, we have to be determined to stay in our positions.
Yeah.
Again, the article is don't move. Hold it right there. Don't move. Ephesians 6. I'll read one verse. Ephesians 6, verse 10.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Praise Yahweh.
Praise God.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahweh and in the power of His might.
And verse 11.
Put on the whole armor of Elohim, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
All right, so this is how we stand strong in Yahweh. resting in his power,
That's it.
and still doing what we're supposed to do.
That's
What
it.
we know to do.
Uh-huh.
So when undesirable circumstances come, resist the idea to cut and run.
Right.
No one likes pressure, but success never comes when we run away.
Hallelujah.
Instead, we must decide to depend on Elohim to help us stand.
Yes.
When it seems like everything is coming against us, standing in his power and his might comes when we know that we are in Mashiach. Successful military campaigns require a supply of ammunition. Any military unit that has ammunition and the necessary resources can push back the enemy. The same is true with us.
Yep.
When we're standing on the promises of Elohim in his perfect will, we have a supply line.
Yeah.
All the resources we need are found in the word of Elohim.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Speaking the word is our ammunition to defeat the enemy. It will give us strength on the inside to stand our ground.
Yes.
Let's be determined not to allow anything to move us from our Elohim ordained positions. We must stay where we are until we accomplish everything Elohim wants us to do.
Okay.
Being in the right position is when we will experience our best blessings. Let's do all we can for the kingdom of Elohim as we stand in our position for success. And then it says, position for success. Victory goes to those who are willing to fulfill their Elohim-given assignment and stay with it no matter
No
what.
matter what.
What you are called to do may seem insignificant, but Yahweh sees the ripple effect
Yes,
of your
he does.
willingness and obedience
Hallelujah.
to stay where he's placed you and do what he's asked you to do. So one person can make a difference. Again,
Yes, it does.
don't move.
Stand and
Hallelujah.
keep standing.
Praise Yahweh. All right, now let's go to 1 Kings, 13th chapter. So we are told by Yahweh what our mission is.
Yep, yep.
And everyone will not consider our mission important.
Huh.
That has no never mind whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
Yahweh sent you on it, and he knows it's important.
He knows the importance of it.
Now we're going to look at a mission that this young prophet was sent on in 1 Kings, the 13th chapter.
Okay.
And everyone, again, will not consider what you're doing an asset to the body of Mashiach. That has no significance whatsoever.
That's right. It
All we
says
have to know
Yahweh.
is what Yahweh told us to do now. We're going to look at this young prophet because he's recorded in the Bible because Yahweh told him what his mission was.
Right, right.
He told him how to do it. And he told him from beginning to end.
Right, right.
Now, we're also going to see some obstacles he encountered.
Okay.
So this is for our admonition and our learning. All right, because the obstacles he encountered was to get him off track.
Right, right.
What Yahweh said to do, and to not hold his position. All right, to not don't move. It
Okay.
was to get him to move.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, 1 Kings 13. We're going to start at verse 1. 1 Kings
Hallelujah.
13 and
Hallelujah.
verse 1, please.
And behold, there came a man of Elohim out of Yehudah by the word of Yahweh unto Bethel. And Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense.
Now you see it. Why is this man coming? He's coming because Yahweh told him to come. It says, and behold, there came an Adam of Elohim out of Yehudah by Hadabar of Yahweh. Yahweh told him what to do, what his assignment, his mission was.
Right, right.
All right? And Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. All right, verse 2.
And he cried against the altar in the word of Yahweh and said, O altar, altar, thus saith Yahweh, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, Josiah by name, and upon thee shall he offer the priests of the high places that burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee.
So I don't know if you know the history of Jeroboam, but he had led the people far away from Yahweh. And now here's this Nabi, this prophet that Yahweh is sending, and he's crying against these pagan altars that Jeroboam set up. And he's saying, there's going to be a Zakar, a child born unto Habite or Dawid, Josiah is going to be his name, and he's going to, actually I believe he's the one that started out 7 years old as a child, but he started getting rid of all this pagan stuff that this man Jeroboam had set up. He said, and upon these shall he offer HaKohen of the high places, talking about the pagan priesthood, that burn incense upon thee, and Adam's bones shall be burned upon thee. All right? So he's letting him know, thus saith Yahweh.
Clean house.
All this sinful stuff that you're doing, Yahweh's going to stop it.
Yeah.
All right, verse 3.
And he gave a sign the same day, saying, this is the sign which Yahweh has spoken. Behold, the altar shall be rent, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out.
Verse 4.
And it came to pass, when King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of Elohim, which had cried against the altar in Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, lay hold on him. And his hand, which he put forth against him, dried up, so that he could not pull it in again to him.
See how swiftly Yahweh acted? So here's Jeroboam, he's all, puffed up and thinking, hey, I'm getting away with this. And it says, the Nabi told about the sign that was going to happen. Then verse 4, it says, it came to pass when Melech Jeroboam, Shamar, Ha'amar of Ha'adam of Elohim, which had cried against the altar in Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, lay hold on him, like grab him, don't let him go. And it says, what happened? It says, he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, lay hold on him, and his hand which he put forth dried up. So he put it out and was dried up. He couldn't pull it back. So Yahweh immediately sent something on him. So here's Yahweh showing signs and wonders to reinforce that I sent this man on this mission.
Okay.
All right? And you can't touch him. All right? Verse 5. As long as he stays in obedience to Yahweh. Verse 5.
The altar was also rent, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of Elohim had given by the word of Yahweh.
All right, so again, the altar itself was torn in two.
Okay.
All right, just like the man had just said that Yahweh was going to do to it. All right, verse 6.
And the king answered and said unto the man of Elohim, entreat now the face of Yahweh thy Elohim, and pray for me, that my hand may be restored me again. And the man of Elohim besought Yahweh, and the king's hand was restored him again, and became as it was before.
All right, so now you see, in one instance, he's ready to bash the man's head in.
Yeah.
And now, Yahweh's done these signs and different things. Now he said, okay, I'm sorry. Pray to Yahweh and have him, undry my hand up. And, okay, I'm sorry, I was doing wrong.
Okay.
All right, he said, and then the man of Yahweh prayed to Yahweh, and Hamelech's hand was restored to him again and became as it was. So Yahweh healed it.
Right.
All right, verse 7.
And the king said unto the man of Elohim, come home with me and refresh thyself, and I will give thee a reward.
Verse 8, he's trying to bribe him.
Right.
Verse 8.
And the man of Elohim said unto the king, if thou wilt give me half thine house, I will not go in with thee.
Okay.
Neither will I eat bread nor drink water in this place.
Now, you see, here's the Nabi, the man of Yahweh. The king offered him, said, okay, come home with me, and I'm going to give you a reward. Really, he was trying to bribe him to get him to be on his side.
Right.
But then the man responded, Ha'adam of Elohim Amar unto Hamelech, if you will give me half your bayit, I will not go in with thee, neither will I eat lechem or drink mayim in this place. Now, why is he saying that? Verse 9.
For so was it charged me by the word of Yahweh, saying, eat no bread, nor drink water, nor turn again by the same way that thou camest.
All right, for so it was commanded me. See, so that charge sounds a little, light. It was commanded. That was a commandment from Yahweh. And when Yahweh talks to us, it's a command.
Right.
It's not a little light thing. Okay, I can choose this and no. For so was commanded me by Hadabar of Yahweh. So he told him all about his mission before he started out on it.
Right.
Amar, eat no lechem, nor drink mayim, nor turn again by the same way that you came. He even told him, don't go out the same way you came into the city to do what I told you to do.
Right.
All right, verse 10.
So he went another way and returned not by the way that he came to Bethel.
So he's doing real good. He's in
Right.
obedience to Yahweh. He's still able to revenge disobedience because he's still in obedience to Yahweh. All right, verse 11.
Now there dwelt an old prophet in Bethel, and his sons came and told him all the works that the man of Elohim had done that day in Bethel, the words which he had spoken unto the king. Then they told also to their father.
Now, this is an older Nabi. And now, here's his sons telling them about the conversation that the man said, I'm not supposed to, drink or eat bread or drink water, and, I'm supposed to go another way. So, they told him about the conversation, and now we're going to see that this old prophet is going to go test the young man. That's what it turned out to be. And that's what it is when Yahweh tells us to do something and people come to us and tell us to do something different. It's a test.
Praise the mighty Yahweh.
Okay? And we're going to see that this test ended up badly.
Yeah.
Because Yahweh had told him specifically, just like he tells us specifically.
Yes, he does. Yes, he has.
All right, verse 12.
And their father said unto them, what way went he? For his sons had seen what way the man of Elohim went, which came from Yehuda.
Verse 13.
And he said unto his sons, saddle me the donkey. So they saddled him the donkey, and he rode thereon.
14.
And went after the man of Elohim, and found him sitting under an oak. And he said unto him, art thou the man of Elohim that camest from Yehuda? And he said, I am.
Okay, so now you just making sure you saw him sitting under a tree. Okay. The young prophet is in obedience to everything Yahweh said thus far. All right, but now here's this old prophet going after him. Now let's see, why is he going after him? All right, verse 15.
Then he said unto him, come home with me and eat bread.
Oh, there's the test again, right? The king asked him.
Right.
Now, here's this old prophet, and he's got his, credentials, and he's acting like he's a believer. All right? But if you're a believer and I'm a believer, and you tell me Yahweh told you to do something, I'm not going to tell you Yahweh said don't do that.
Okay.
That's you and Yahweh.
That's right.
All right? So now he's testing him. He said, okay, the old man said, come home with me and eat lechem or bread. Verse 16.
And he said, I may not return with thee, nor go in with thee. Neither will I eat bread nor drink water with thee in this place.
So it's not like he didn't know.
Okay.
It's kind of like Kawah said in Genesis. Of that tree, Yahweh said, we shall not eat of it, not even touch it lest we die. Okay, it's not like she didn't know.
Right.
But she was deceived.
Right.
But again now, this man knew exactly what Yahweh said because he's repeating it.
Okay.
He said, and he Amar, I may not return with thee, nor go in with thee, neither will I eat lechem nor drink mayim with thee in this place. I may not, because Yahweh commanded me, don't do it.
Right.
But you have people, when Yahweh has commanded you something, that'll tell you Yahweh didn't command you. So you better know what Yahweh said, and you don't have to prove anything to them.
You don't. Just
Don't get into trying
Yahweh.
to prove your credentials to them.
No, you
That's
don't.
between you and Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Verse 17, it's a trap.
For it was said to me by the word of Yahweh, thou shalt eat no bread, nor drink water there, nor turn again to go by the way that thou camest.
All right, so now he's telling the man truthfully in his heart.
Right.
And again, there's some people you can't tell your mission to that Yahweh called you on because their whole thing is to try to get you off track and not do what Yahweh told you to do. And again, why waste your time telling somebody about your mission when they're not going to be a part of you carrying out the mission anyway.
Okay.
He said, it was said to me by the Debar of Yahweh, in other words, commanded me, thou shalt eat no liquor, nor drink mayim there, nor turn again to go by the way that you came. All right, now here comes the old prophet flashing his credentials, and he thinks that he's going to trump what Yahweh already told the man. All right, verse 18.
He said unto him, I am a prophet also as thou art. And an angel spake unto me by the word of Yahweh, saying, bring him back with thee into thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water. But he lied unto him.
And people will lie. Again, the title of the lesson is, if any man will do his will, he shall know the doctrine. Now this young prophet, Yahweh spoke to him himself.
Yeah.
Now here's the old prophet, talking about an angel came and told him Yahweh said this and this and this. But the whole thing is, he already knew what Yahweh said.
Right, heard from Yah.
He amarred him, I am a Nabi also as thou art. And Amalek spake unto me by Hadabar of Yahweh, Amar, bring him back with thee into thine house. Yahweh would have told the man, see, this is for us to see that Yahweh will tell you personally himself.
Right.
He don't need an intermediary person to come and tell you. Especially when they're going to flash their badge and talk about, okay, see, I'm a prophet too.
Okay.
I'm an elder too. Beware those people flashing the elder badge and the prophet badge. Bring him back with thee to thy house, that they may eat bread and drink water. But what? He lied unto him. And believe it or not, people can call the name of Yahweh and they lie.
Of course.
Not Yahweh's true people.
Okay.
All right, verse 19.
So he went back with him and did eat bread in his house and drank water.
He fell for it. He fell for it. Again, Yahweh's going to show us, just like Adam and Kawah in the garden, when they ate the forbidden fruit, that would have been a great time, you know, for Yahweh to show mercy and, you know, forgive their sin and all that. But every mistake has a consequence. It has a value.
Yep.
Some mistakes you might lose 2 weeks. Some mistakes you might lose 20 years.
Yep.
The mistake that they made was fatal. He went back with him, and the one that he made was fatal.
Yep.
Doesn't mean he won't be in the kingdom. I'm not going to conjecture on that.
Right.
But it just means he got killed a lot sooner than he would have. And plus, it was a horrible death. We're going to read. All right, verse 20.
And it came to pass, as they sat at the table, that the word of Yahweh came unto the prophet that brought him back. And he cried unto the man of Elohim that came from Yehuda, saying, thus says Yahweh, for as much as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of Yahweh, and hast not kept the commandment which Yahweh thy Elohim commanded thee,
22.
but camest back, and hast eaten bread and drunk water in the place of which Yahweh did say to thee, eat no bread and drink no water, thy carcass shall not come unto the sepulchre of thy fathers.
All right, so now it says the word of Yahweh came to the old man. Came to pass as he sat at the table that Hadabar Yahweh came unto Hanabi that brought him back. Talking about the old prophet. Now he's telling the young prophet, thus said Yahweh, for as much as you had disobeyed the mouth of Yahweh. Again, when Yahweh tells us something, we don't need high five from anybody else. Don't look for high five from anybody else, because you'll get in trouble. This is what Yahweh is telling us right here. And now he's speaking to this old prophet and telling him that you have disobeyed the mouth of Yahweh. You've not kept our mitzvah, which Yahweh has savah thee, but you came back and you ate bread and you drank water in this place, of which Yahweh did say or command you, eat no bread and drink no water. He said, your carcass shall not come to the sepulchre of your fathers. Verse 23.
And it came to pass, after he had eaten bread and after he had drunk, that he saddled for him the donkey to wit for the prophet whom he had brought back.
24.
And when he was gone, a lion met him by the way, and slew him, and his carcass was cast in the way, and the donkey stood by it. The lion also stood by the carcass.
All right, so now Yahweh, because this Nabi had done the miracles, and Yahweh had showed these miracles publicly, now Yahweh had to show the disobedience and what happened publicly. All right? He said he saddled his donkey, and then it says when he was gone, a lion met the prophet. Yahweh sent a lion.
You right?
And he killed him. And his body was cast in the way, and the donkey stood by it, and the lion also stood by it.
Huh.
Right? And then now here come the people looking, and they understood this was the man that Yahweh said,
Right.
come and do this, don't eat, don't drink. So either way, Yahweh's getting his glory.
Right, right.
But we don't have to have a lion eat us up. All we have to do is just, all right,
Be
Yahweh,
obedient.
you told me to do that. I hear other people saying this and this, and
Right.
I'm not paying any attention to them.
Right.
I will make sure I do exactly what you told me to do.
Hallelujah.
No more, no less. Exactly how you told me to do it.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Verse 25.
And behold, men passed by and saw the carcass cast in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass. And they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt.
26.
And when the prophet that brought him back from the way thereof, heard thereof, he said, it is the man of Elohim who was disobedient unto the word of Yahweh. Therefore Yahweh had delivered him unto the lion, which had torn him and slain him, according to the word of Yahweh, which he spake unto him.
All right, so again, this is a true thing that happened.
Yep.
It's not a story.
Not a story.
It's for
Fact.
our learning and our admonition, so we don't go that way.
Right, right.
So the men, when they saw the lion and they saw the man that the lion had killed, they came and they told this old prophet. And so now we're going to see that he's going to go and get him and bury him. Verse 27.
And he spake to his sons, saying, saddle me the donkey. And they saddled him.
28.
And he went and found his carcass cast in the way, and the donkey and the lion standing by the carcass. The lion had not eaten the carcass, nor torn the donkey.
29.
And the prophet took up the carcass of the man of Elohim, and laid it upon the donkey, and brought it back. And the old prophet came to the city to mourn and to bury him.
All right, so he took him up and mourned and buried him. And then see, this is a lion. Yahweh just sent him to kill him. He just standing there. He didn't bite the donkey. He didn't. So Yahweh just sent him to do that specific thing to teach us and to teach the people back then. You better do what Yahweh's telling you to do. When he sends you on a mission and he's giving you the specifics, don't let anybody else come in and add to it and say, oh, I think you ought to maybe do it this way.
Right.
Or maybe I think you ought to do it this time. And don't do that. All right, verse 30.
And he said, and he laid his carcass in his own grave, and they mourned over him, saying, alas, my brother.
Yes, my brother. Yeah, that mistake cost you your life. Verse 31.
And it came to pass, after he had buried him, that he spake unto his sons, saying, when I am dead, then bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of Elohim is buried. Lay my bones beside his bones.
All right, praise Yahweh. So we learned from that example. All right, let's go to Matthew's the 12th chapter. So this example, Matthew 12, shows us that Yahweh is the only one who sends us on our missions.
Okay.
And he updates us every step of the way.
Yes, he does. Yes, he will. Yes, he has.
There's nothing wrong with Yahweh's mouth. Yahweh told you to start it. He'll tell you what's in the middle. He'll tell you all along the way.
Hallelujah.
Matthew 12. You don't need an addendum from any man. Matthew 12, and we want to read verse 17.
Hallelujah.
And that's a hard lesson, so I thank Yahweh we don't have to learn it that way.
Yes.
12 and 17, read.
That it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying,
18.
behold my servant, whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall show judgment to the Gentiles.
All right, 19.
He shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the street.
All right, so just like we're looking at this mission that this young Nabi was sent on, Yahweh is saying it's going to be fulfilled whatever servant he chooses and whatever mission he sends that servant on.
Okay.
And he said, behold, my Abbot whom I have chosen, my beloved, and whom my nephesh is well pleased, I will put my Ruach upon him, and he shall show Mishpat to Hagowi. Now he's talking about Yahshua first of all, but he's also talking about us because we're within Yahshua. It says, he shall not strive nor cry,
Okay.
neither any Adam shall mount his voice in the streets. Yahweh said his sheep hear.
Right.
So we will hear when people are sent from Yahweh, and he gives us peace that those who do not hear the mission that Yahweh has sent us on,
Right.
or don't see the value of the mission, those people are not assigned to us.
Okay.
It's all right.
Yes, it is.
Hopefully they'll hear from somebody else that Yahweh has sent on a slightly different mission.
Right,
the mission is all the same.
Yes, it
To
is.
get people away from the lake of fire and into the kingdom. But he gives us peace about those that don't value
Yes,
the
he
mission
does.
that
Yes, he has. Yes, he will.
that we have been put on. Let's go to Luke the 15th chapter. We're not going to strive with them about that.
No, you should not.
We're not going to try to convince them
Uh-uh.
that Yahweh sent us. Why waste your time?
Hey, don't waste y'all's precious time.
The ones that you have been sent to value your mission.
Right?
They understand that Yahweh has sent you.
Praise the
And
mighty
they
God.
also come to understand that Yahweh has sent them.
That right.
Luke 15, let's read verse 11.
Hallelujah.
Luke 15 and verse 11.
And he said, a certain man had 2 sons.
12.
And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living.
Now, the father did not chase down the son.
Okay.
It was the responsibility of the son to discern the distinction and importance of his father.
That right.
Yahweh had to use the pigs to teach him because he wouldn't learn it in the environment that he was in.
Right.
Generals, captains, lieutenants, and, and the way it was set up in the courtyards and the tents and everything, and the Levites were carrying out their business, the people that carried the Ark of the Covenant, they was really powerful men who were securing that.
It's a message from my heavenly
Very
Father,
powerful
letting us
man,
know
because
who
he
we
couldn't
are.
let no one
We
near,
was
because
born
first of
in
all,
his
you would
image,
die.
gave the crown of
If you
dominion
touch
and
it,
authority. And
they
the
wanted
man died
change,
to the
right?
serpent.
Jesus
That's the
didn't
call
have
the
it.
light.
Buddha didn't
When he
have
ate
it.
the
The
tree,
Jews
the
didn't
true
have it.
meaning of
Allah
naked. The ground was cursed and sacred, trying to eat his soul over the ground.
But
Thorns
Yahweh
and
can
fists
help
was
me.
I can fast forward to monetary,
He helped me
recognized
change my whole